Have you ever noticed how some of the most powerful minds and deepest thinkers often choose to remain distant from the crowd? While society conditions most people to seek constant social interaction, there exists a rare breed of man who deliberately walks a different path, one of independence, solitude, and silent strength. Unlike the masses who crave approval, reassurance, and group identity, this man finds comfort in his own company and operates on his own terms. This is the Sigma male, a figure both misunderstood and highly enigmatic. He does not fit into the traditional hierarchy of alpha and beta males, nor does he try to. He doesn't chase validation, doesn't conform to expectations, and refuses to follow trends just to fit in. Instead, he chooses solitude over superficial connections, self-mastery over external control, and quiet dominance over loud bravado. While others may perceive him as antisocial or disconnected, the truth is far deeper. He is simply selective with his energy and values quality over quantity in every aspect of his life. But why exactly do Sigma males prefer solitude over socializing? What makes them detach from the crowd while still commanding respect and admiration from a distance? In today's video, we'll be exploring 8 powerful reasons why Sigma males are alone, and the answers may not be what you expect. Whether you're a Sigma male yourself or just curious about what makes them so different, stay tuned, because this is going to change the way you see the world. Number 1, their deep thoughts scare people away. Sigma males are natural deep thinkers, constantly questioning, analyzing, and exploring ideas that most people either ignore or find too intimidating to discuss. While the majority of society engages in surface-level conversations about sports, social trends, and celebrity gossip, Sigma males find themselves drawn toward topics that challenge conventional thinking. They are fascinated by philosophy, psychology, human nature, and the mysteries of the universe. They contemplate existence, morality, and the hidden forces that drive human behavior. They seek meaning beyond the mundane, often questioning societal norms, personal growth, and the purpose of life itself. However, this level of introspection often alienates them from others. Deep conversations require a willingness to be vulnerable, to face uncomfortable truths, and to step outside the comfort zone of trivial discussions. Unfortunately, most people prefer to avoid such intellectually demanding interactions because they expose hidden insecurities and force them to rethink their beliefs. As a result, Sigma males often find that when they attempt to engage in thought-provoking discussions, people either shut down the conversation, change the subject, or become visibly uncomfortable. Over time, Sigma males learn that their thoughts are best kept to themselves, or shared only with those who can truly appreciate intellectual depth. Rather than trying to force conversations that others aren't ready for, Sigma males embrace solitude, where their intellectual curiosity can flourish freely, without fear of judgment or misunderstanding. Their minds remain their greatest companions, allowing them to think, analyze, and grow in ways that many people will never comprehend. Number 2, they see through fake friendships easily. Sigma males possess a razor-sharp intuition that allows them to detect insincerity and hidden motives almost instantly. While most people form friendships out of convenience, status, or shared interests, Sigma males evaluate relationships based on authenticity, trust, and depth. This heightened perception makes it easy for them to see past fake smiles, empty compliments, and shallow connections. They notice the so-called friend who only reaches out when they need a favor, the coworker who feigns politeness but secretly harbors envy, and the acquaintance who acts friendly in public but never shows genuine care when it truly matters. Unlike others who cling to friendships for the sake of avoiding loneliness, Sigma males refuse to waste time on people who lack sincerity. Many individuals tolerate superficial friendships simply because they fear isolation. They'd rather have a toxic social circle than be alone. Sigma males, however, see things differently. They understand that being alone is far better than being surrounded by fake people who drain their energy and bring nothing of real value. For them, solitude is not something to be feared, it is a state of clarity, peace, and self-preservation that protects them from emotional exhaustion. Instead of spreading their energy across a wide network of untrustworthy acquaintances, Sigma males choose to build a small, selective, and meaningful circle, or in many cases, they remain completely independent, enjoying their own company rather than wasting time with pretenders. Number 3, they've learned to trust their gut instinct above all else, the unerring compass of the Sigma male. The Sigma male operates on a level of perception that transcends conventional logic. While most people rely on social cues, verbal assurances, or surface-level interactions to judge others, the Sigma male receives information on a deeper, almost primal frequency. His instincts are not hunches, they are biological alarms, fine-tuned through years of observation, experience, and a refusal to ignore the subtle undercurrents of human behavior. The science of Sigma intuition. Research suggests that intuition is not mystical but rather the brain processing information faster than conscious thought can articulate. The Sigma male's mind is a supercomputer of pattern recognition, subconsciously cataloging micro-expressions, tonal shifts, and behavioral inconsistencies that others miss. When someone lies, his skin prickles before the words even leave their mouth. When a situation feels off, his muscles tense before his mind processes why. Most people suppress these signals, dismissing them as paranoia or overthinking. But the Sigma male listens. He has been burned before, by manipulators who disguised themselves as friends, by partners who concealed their agendas, by colleagues who smiled while plotting his downfall. Each betrayal sharpened his instincts like a blade. Now, he no longer questions the warning signs. If his gut says, leave, he leaves. If it whispers, this person is dangerous, he distances himself without explanation. Why he chooses loneliness over false connections? Many mistake his wariness for cynicism, but it is simply efficiency. The Sigma male understands that most social bonds are built on convenience, not loyalty. He would rather stand alone than waste energy on relationships that drain him or, worse, manipulate him. He recognizes energy vampires instantly, those who take more than they give, who thrive on drama, who disguise neediness as friendship. He spots deception in real time, whether it's a coworker taking credit for his ideas or a lover hiding their true intentions. He feels the shift in a room's atmosphere before anyone speaks, sensing tension, jealousy, or hidden motives. Most people rationalize these red flags away, convincing themselves they're overreacting. The Sigma male does not. He trusts his instincts like a soldier trusts his training, because his survival depends on it. Solitude as armor. To outsiders, his self-imposed isolation seems extreme. But to him, it is the only rational choice. Why would he ignore his internal alarm system just to avoid loneliness? Why would he force himself into hollow friendships when his instincts scream, this is a trap? The Sigma male would rather be accused of being cold than be ensnared in a relationship that dulls his spirit. His solitude is not loneliness, it is a fortress built on instinct, wisdom, and an unshakable commitment to self-preservation. Number 4, their mind is always elsewhere, the labyrinth of the Sigma male's inner world. Spend a day with a Sigma male, and you'll notice something unsettling. He is there, but not present. His body occupies space in the conversation, but his mind? It's light years away, lost in a labyrinth of thoughts, theories, and uncharted mental landscapes. The Sigma male's brain, a universe unto itself. Most people think in linear, practical terms: what to eat, what to wear, what to post online. The Sigma male's mind operates differently. It is a storm of interconnected ideas, where every observation sparks a dozen questions. Why do people fear silence? What hidden patterns govern human behavior? How would history change if one decision had gone differently? While others discuss weather or gossip, his brain is dissecting philosophy, engineering hypothetical scenarios, or mentally refining a personal project. Small talk feels like trying to feed a gourmet chef fast food. It's not just boring, it's insulting to his cognitive appetite. Why he seems distant? This constant mental activity creates a paradox. He appears aloof because his focus is internal, not external. He forgets social niceties not out of rudeness, but because his mind is solving a problem no one else sees. He zones out mid-conversation not because he doesn't care, but because the discussion sparked a deeper train of thought. Most people misinterpret this as disinterest. They assume he's arrogant, detached, or simply not paying attention. The truth? His mind moves too fast for conventional dialogue. The retreat into solitude. After years of being misunderstood, the Sigma male learns to self-censor. He suppresses his thoughts in social settings to avoid seeming weird or intense. But this is exhausting. Like an artist forced to paint in grayscale, he feels stifled. So he withdraws. In solitude, his mind finally breathes. There are no confused stares when he mutters to himself, no awkward pauses when he abruptly scribbles down an idea. Alone, he can follow a thought for hours without interruption. Dive into creative flow without explaining himself. Exist in his natural state, a thinker first, a social creature second. The cost of a mind that never rests. The downside? Loneliness. Not because he needs people, but because so few can match his depth. He craves one real conversation over 1,000 hollow ones. Until he finds it, he'll choose solitude over superficiality every time. Because to the Sigma male, a quiet room full of ideas is far richer than a noisy room full of people who'll never understand him. Number 5, they don't fear missing out, the liberating philosophy of intentional absence. In our hyper-connected digital age, society has weaponized absence, transforming the simple act of missing an event into a psychological terror we've come to know as FOMO, the fear of missing out. This modern anxiety disorder manifests in the compulsive checking of social media, the desperate need to attend every gathering, and the gnawing sense that somewhere, someone is having a better experience. Yet the Sigma male stands as a living antithesis to this cultural phenomenon, not through active resistance but through something far more powerful, complete indifference. The Sigma male's immunity to FOMO isn't born from social ineptitude or misanthropy, but from a fundamental rewiring of value systems. Where others see opportunity in crowded rooms, he sees distraction. Where the masses chase trending hashtags, he recognizes the emptiness of herd mentality. His perspective stems from an acute awareness that most social participation is performative, people gathering not out of genuine connection, but to document their gathering for absent observers. The Sigma male understands that true experiences cannot be captured in Instagram stories, that meaningful connections aren't measured in follower counts, and that personal growth rarely happens in echo chambers of conformity. This psychological detachment allows the Sigma male to engage in what psychologists call JOMO, the joy of missing out. While others anxiously scroll through curated highlight reels of their peers' lives, he experiences the profound satisfaction of being exactly where he chooses to be. His richest moments occur in the spaces between events, in the quiet hours before dawn when ideas flow unimpeded, in the uninterrupted focus of deep work, in the self-contained universe of his own mind. The Sigma male doesn't just tolerate solitude, he prefers it, because it's only in solitude that he can hear himself think above the cultural white noise. Number 6. They are tired of explaining themselves, the exhaustion of being a cognitive minority. Living as a Sigma male in conventional society is akin to being a native speaker of an obscure dialect in a world that only recognizes the dominant language. Every decision, every preference, every life choice requires translation, and the constant effort of self-explanation becomes a soul-crushing tax on his mental energy. The Sigma male's worldview operates on fundamentally different axioms than mainstream society. Where others see security in conformity, he sees prison bars. Where most find comfort in tradition, he feels only constraint. This cognitive dissonance manifests in endless interrogations disguised as concern. Why don't you want a steady job? When will you settle down? Don't you get lonely? Each question carries the unspoken accusation that his life path isn't just different, but wrong. The Sigma male quickly recognizes that these aren't genuine inquiries but social compliance checks, the herd testing to see if he'll fall back in line. His explanations, no matter how eloquent, inevitably crash against the shores of conventional thinking, because understanding would require the questioner to first doubt their own life choices. The mental toll of this constant justification is immense. Cognitive psychologists note that repeatedly defending one's core identity creates psychological fatigue similar to chronic stress. The Sigma male experiences this acutely. Every explanation feels like self-betrayal, a dilution of his truth to make it palatable to minds that can't or won't understand. He grows weary of seeing his carefully reasoned philosophies reduced to phases or rebellion by those incapable of conceptualizing alternatives to the standard life script. In retreating to solitude, the Sigma male isn't admitting defeat but declaring sovereignty. His silence becomes both armor and statement, a refusal to continue begging for validation from a system he never consented to in the first place. The more society pushes for explanations, the more he recognizes that true freedom lies in owing no explanations at all. This is the Sigma male's ultimate act of defiance, not loud rebellion, but quiet removal from the need to be understood by those who benefit from his conformity. Number 7. They understand that solitude is the ultimate freedom, the unshackled consciousness. The Sigma male's pursuit of solitude represents the ultimate rebellion in our hyperconnected age, not just against social norms, but against the very architecture of human psychology. Evolutionary biologists note that our brains developed social dependence as a survival mechanism, making the Sigma male's detachment nothing short of a cognitive revolution. His solitude isn't empty space, but liberated territory, a psychological sovereign nation where he makes all the laws. Consider the arithmetic of freedom. Every relationship, no matter how loving, carries some obligation. Every social role, no matter how rewarding, demands some performance. The Sigma male has solved this equation by minimizing variables. Without the constant background noise of social expectations, his mind achieves a clarity that borders on the prophetic. His decisions are uncorrupted by groupthink, his creativity unconstrained by conventional wisdom, his schedule unburdened by obligatory gatherings. This creates a compounding effect. The more time spent in deliberate solitude, the sharper his independent thinking becomes, making social dependence seem increasingly irrational. The Sigma male's freedom manifests most strikingly in his relationship with time. While others frantically fill their calendars to avoid existential dread, he moves deliberately through unhurried days. His solitude allows for what psychologist Mihai Csikszentmihalyi called flow states, periods of deep, timeless focus where peak creativity and productivity emerge. Where the socially enmeshed person's attention is constantly fragmented by notifications and obligations, the Sigma male's uninterrupted concentration becomes a superpower in an age of distraction. Ultimately, the Sigma male demonstrates that true freedom isn't found in the ability to do what you want, but in the ability to not do what you don't want. His solitude represents the final stage of psychological development, where external validation is replaced by internal governance, where the need for belonging is supplanted by the joy of being. In a world where most people can't sit quietly with their own thoughts for 5 minutes, the Sigma male's comfort in solitude isn't just strength, it's evolutionary transcendence. Number 8. They realize true strength is found in being alone, the alchemy of solitary transformation. The Sigma male's relationship with solitude resembles that of a blacksmith with his forge. What appears to outsiders as isolation is actually the crucible where his strongest self is tempered. Modern psychology often pathologizes being alone, equating it with loneliness, but the Sigma male understands this is a fundamental misunderstanding of human potential. His voluntary solitude isn't an absence of company, but a presence of self, a deliberate choice to engage in the most important relationship he'll ever have, the one with himself. This journey into solitude follows an almost initiatory structure. First comes the confrontation with the unfiltered self. Without social masks or distractions, he meets his rawest fears, most uncomfortable truths, and deepest desires. Psychologists call this ego dissolution, where the constructed identity falls away to reveal core consciousness. Where most flee from this confrontation through constant distraction, the Sigma male leans in, understanding that true power begins with absolute self-honesty. Next emerges the discipline phase, learning to sit with discomfort, to entertain himself intellectually without external stimulation, to find motivation from within rather than through social approval. Finally arrives the mastery stage, where solitude becomes not just tolerable but preferable, a state of complete self-sufficiency where his mental and emotional resources are entirely internally generated. The strength cultivated through this process creates what Nietzsche called the sovereign individual, someone whose sense of worth and purpose is entirely self-derived. While social creatures experience constant fluctuations in confidence based on others' opinions, the Sigma male's foundation remains unshaken because it was built alone, brick by brick, in the quiet chambers of his own mind. His resilience isn't the brittle bravado of performative masculinity, but the unbreakable fortitude of someone who has faced his deepest shadows and emerged stronger. This explains why Sigma males often thrive in crises that break more socially dependent personalities. Their psychological infrastructure was built to withstand isolation. Conclusion: the sovereign path of the Sigma male. The Sigma male's solitary journey is not a rejection of humanity, but a refinement of it. He does not withdraw from society out of bitterness or fear, but because he has discovered a fundamental truth: most human connections are built on need, not choice. The average person clings to relationships out of dependency, fear of loneliness, craving for validation, or the pressure to conform. The Sigma male, however, engages only when he desires to, never because he has to. His solitude is not an absence of people, but the presence of something far more valuable: uncompromised self-ownership. In a world that equates social activity with success and popularity with worth, the Sigma male stands as a living paradox. While others chase the fleeting high of external approval, he cultivates an unshakable inner citadel. His strength comes from a place most never dare to explore: the silent depths of his own mind. Where people frantically seek distractions to avoid facing themselves, the Sigma male deliberately seeks himself and, in doing so, discovers a power that cannot be taken, negotiated, or faked. There is a reason solitude has been the refuge of philosophers, artists, and revolutionaries throughout history. It is in silence that the mind sharpens, in stillness that clarity emerges, and in separation that true individuality is forged. The Sigma male understands this at a bone-deep level. He does not fear loneliness because he has never been lonely, not truly. How could he be, when his own company is more stimulating than the chatter of 1,000 superficial voices? If you have ever felt the electrifying freedom of standing alone, untouched by the demands of the crowd, then you have brushed against the Sigma mindset. It is not about arrogance or isolation for its own sake. It is about sovereignty, the unyielding belief that a life lived on your terms, guided by your instincts, and free from the weight of others' expectations is the only life worth living. The Sigma male's greatest lesson is this: you do not need permission to exist as you are. While the world scrambles for approval, he remains untouchable, not because he is cold, but because he has mastered the rarest skill of all: the art of belonging wholly to oneself. So the next time you see a man comfortable in his solitude, unbothered by the chaos around him, recognize what you are witnessing. It is not detachment. It is evolution. And perhaps, if you dare to step away from the noise yourself, you might discover the same power waiting for you in the quiet. If you found this video insightful or relatable, why not join our growing community? Subscribe to the channel for more content exploring the mindsets, traits, and behaviors of Sigma males. Your engagement helps us dive deeper into these unique perspectives. Be sure to like this video if it resonated with you, share it with someone who might appreciate it, and leave your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your perspective. Thank you for taking the time to watch. Remember, as a Sigma male or someone inspired by their path, staying true to yourself is the ultimate strength. Keep evolving, stay strong, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.